Meet Amina. She is a woman from a small, quiet village, a place she loved with her whole heart. She saw the light dim in the eyes of young girls who were told their education was over. She saw the brilliant, capable hands of women left idle, without work or purpose beyond the home. She saw families struggling, their shoulders heavy with the weight of uncertainty and fading hope. In the face of all this, Amina could have looked away. She could have accepted that this was just the way things were. But something inside her, a powerful and undeniable spark, refused to be silent. Amina decided to act. She decided she would not just wish for change. She would become the change her community so desperately needed. Her determination was not born from anger, but from a deep and abiding love for her people. She believed in their potential. She knew that behind the tired faces and the quiet acceptance, there were dreams waiting to be awakened. She saw the strength in the women, the intelligence in the girls, the resilience in the families. She felt a profound calling to help them see it for themselves. This wasn't about leading a revolution in the traditional sense. It was about starting a quiet revolution of the heart, one that begins with a single person believing that a better world is possible. Amina's journey was not one of grand pronouncements, but of quiet, steadfast action, proving that the most powerful movements often begin with a single, heartfelt whisper of "what if?" This is the story of how one woman's courage became a beacon for an entire village. It is a testament to the incredible power that resides within each of us to make a difference, no matter how small we may feel. Amina didn't have a grand plan written out on paper. She didn't have powerful connections or a vault full of money. What she had was something far more valuable, an unwavering belief in the human spirit and the courage to take the very first step. She understood that you don't need to move the entire mountain at once. You just need to be willing to pick up the first stone. And in doing so, she showed everyone around her that they too had the strength to build a new future. Embarking on her mission was anything but easy. Amina immediately came face to face with a towering mountain of doubt and resistance. The first and most formidable barrier was skepticism. When she shared her idea of creating a space for women to learn and work together, many people simply did not trust it. The concept was so foreign. The concept was so outside the established norms that it was met with suspicion. Elders in the village, accustomed to the old ways, questioned her motives. A woman should not be a leader, some of the men declared, their voices firm with conviction. Her place is with her family, not organizing meetings. This deep-seated cultural resistance was a heavy burden to bear. Then came the practical and seemingly insurmountable problem of money. Amina had a vision, but she had no funds. There were no local banks willing to lend money for such an unconventional project. There were no wealthy donors or charitable foundations knocking on her door. The very idea of seeking outside funding was daunting, as her village was isolated and often overlooked. Every single step she wanted to take, from finding a place to meet to buying the simplest of supplies, required resources she simply did not possess. The lack of financial support made her dream feel like an impossible fantasy, a beautiful but unattainable mirage in the desert. After her long days, she sat alone in the quiet darkness, wondering if she had the strength to continue. In the face of such overwhelming obstacles, Amina did not surrender. She knew she could not conquer the entire mountain in one day, so she took one small, deliberate step at a time. Her first action was not a grand speech, it was to talk, and more importantly, to listen. She visited women she knew well, women she trusted. She sat with them in their homes, shared tea, asked about their lives. She didn't present a finished plan, she asked about hidden hopes and forgotten skills. If you could learn anything, she would ask gently, what would it be? Their answers became the foundation for everything that followed. Some wanted to learn to sew men clothes for their families and make items to sell. Others with small patches of land wanted to grow more food. A few whispered they wanted to become literate, read stories to their children, help with schoolwork. Guided by these conversations, Amina found a physical space, an old abandoned shop long forgotten and layered with dust. With her own hands, she swept the floors, fixed broken chairs, and turned it into a humble, welcoming sanctuary. She began organizing simple, accessible workshops. She couldn't afford expensive professionals, so she looked for teachers in the community. She found an older, skilled seamstress, convinced her to teach a small group in exchange for help with chores. Women gathered around a single borrowed sewing machine, learning to measure fabric and stitch straight lines. Amina invited a local farmer known for his productive garden to teach planting and saving seeds. Lessons were practical, taught in simple language, so every woman could participate and learn quickly. Building trust was slow and painstaking, but Amina worked at it every single day. She spoke with fathers, husbands, and elder men of the village. She didn't argue or demand, she respectfully explained how empowering women would help the whole family. She highlighted small victories as they happened. One woman sold her first handmade bag at the market, used the money to buy medicine for her sick child, and Amina shared that story. Another's garden fed her family and sold their surplus. People knew, and belief grew. The small seeds of change that Amina planted began to sprout, and soon, their growth was visible throughout the entire community. One of the most significant impacts was the creation of new, small businesses. The women who learned to sew began making beautiful clothes, sturdy bags, colorful textiles. Those taught gardening skills started selling fresh vegetables, bringing new variety and nutrition to the village diet. These small, home-based ventures gave women their first taste of economic independence. For the first time, they held money they had earned themselves, gaining dignity and a voice in household decisions. As families had a little more income, more girls began going to school. Now families could afford small fees, uniforms, and books. The village school, once with empty benches, started to fill up. A deeper emotional shift took hold. Encouragement, solidarity, shared laughter. Men who were once skeptical saw healthier children, happier wives, more resilient households. Small improvements accumulated and transformed daily life. Women, once isolated, became entrepreneurs, growers, and community builders. Amina's initiative awakened agency and power dormant for generations. Today, the village is a different place from the one Amina first set out to change. The transformation lives in marketplaces and schools, and in the spirit of the community. She has cultivated a community of leaders, running workshops, managing savings, planning new projects. When a storm hit, it was the women's group that organized food, shelter, and hands-on rebuilding. Her spark ignited many hearts. True leadership empowers others to carry the work forward. Amina's story reminds us, one woman's courage can inspire an entire community. If this story of courage and hope moved you, please let us know in the comments below. Share this story with a friend who inspires you. Like and subscribe for more stories that uplift the human spirit. And be sure to tap that bell so you never miss a new message of hope.